Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. I've got a message of unity for you that I would like to share. Assalamu alaikum. All right. So this is about new beginnings. This is about unity. And I'd like to set an intention. I call upon a message of ancient wisdom, a truth declared over 1400 years ago. A message, Page of Swords. And that message still resonates today. It's a reminder that beyond our labels, we share a single origin and a single duty to one another. All right, so let's think about new beginnings. Let's think about new beginnings despite what's happening in the world. And we need to pay attention to what's happening in the world because we are in the world. All right, new beginnings. And I'd like to channel a little bit in my way with all respect based on different teachings in the Quran. So if we think about the Prophet Muhammad taught that we are all children of the same source. And in his final address, King of Pentacles, he declared something very important. He said all mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor does a non-Arab have any superiority over an Arab, except by piety and good action. So these cards today are to remind you that your worth and the worth of those around you is not found in your background. It's not found in your wealth or in the name of your faith. It is found in the quality of your character and the kindness of your deeds. Have you been kind to one another? Do you defend each other? The King of Pentacles protects and defends. All right, let's see. Sunday message of new beginnings. Being mindful that while we are in the world, we are not of this world. All right, what's happening all around us is not about faith or religion. Obviously, what we're looking at is deplorable and despicable and so sad. I'm certain to the Creator that people have so lost their way. All right. You know, we have to defend one another when we should, but we don't defend the immoral. We don't. That's what's wrong. There are people doing things right now that I don't even have to repeat to you, and I don't even want to say those words at the same time here, because this is a call to defend one another. And acceptance, it's not just a feeling, it's a commitment to protect. In the city of Medina, the prophet established a pact where people of different faiths were declared one nation, bound to defend each other from injustice. So the message today is this: you are the guardian of your neighbor. So to wrong someone because they believe differently is to wrong your own soul. He even warned us that he himself would stand as an adversary on the day of judgment against anyone who mistreats a peaceful person of another faith. All right, that just, I am speaking to somebody so specific here that needs to know that it's not okay to judge you. It's not okay to make you feel different or to put you down because you believe differently, because you do something differently. The Prophet Muhammad is important to somebody here, and in all respect, I say his name. All right, King of Pentacles. There we go. All right, so what's the message about new beginnings? And wouldn't you know it, this is so beautiful. We have the Fool. Remember, we are in the world, but we are not of the world. Don't dirty yourself with the immoral and the things that lower the vibration and damage the soul. Protect your eyes from what you see. Protect your body and make sure that you defend it. Don't let anybody defile you. I'm not here to preach what you should and shouldn't do with your body, but I am myself and not here to allow anybody to judge me. But if you're not some kind of a committed relationship that aligns with your vibration, you wouldn't be just giving yourself away. Do you see what's happening? If you think about the Bible, it's like living in the last days. If you read the Bible and you know the book of Revelations, you should feel concerned. And again, this is not about religion. This is about staying sane, remaining conscious of your actions, protecting and defending each other. But remember, it begins with you and your vibration. We have the Fool. So the King of Pentacles could be an earth sign, a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. This is a person who protects and defends as well. This is a person who may be in charge of a business, somebody who may be protecting the assets, the money. In terms of profession, this could be any business owner. This could be a banker. This could be a financier. This could be somebody who basically works with what's tangible. So this could be even a farmer who is in charge of his farm. He may own crops and work with the land. We have a new beginning, all right. We've got the Ace of Cups, an emotional new beginning that really speaks of being balanced and having mercy, all right? Patience with each other. We also have the Four of Cups, so this is a kind of warning to not get stuck in dwelling on the world and how it makes you feel. You can observe the world, but do not absorb it. But I'm going to, again, mention your eyes. Somebody could be having some issue with their eyes. Think about that, okay? Because if you're dwelling and focusing on the world and what's happening down here, and if you'll notice the little girl is sitting on the ground. She's in the world in the Four of Cups. She doesn't see that the universe is, I'm covered in chills right now. The universe is trying to give her something, refresh her with something. I am completely covered in chills. I know that there's somebody out there that is feeling this too. If you focus on the world and what's in it, even if you resonate with the King of Pentacles, remember the King of Pentacles, if we think about, giving Caesar what is Caesar's, that's just part of the world. All right. But even with the King of Pentacles, if you'll notice, he is not looking directly at the pentacle. He's looking away from it. And he's dressed very casually. This isn't a person that has to wear Gucci to feel better about himself. This is a person who is making sure that he's taking care of the pentacle, because these are the resources to protect the people or his people or the people that are in his jurisdiction even. Remember, this is a warning to not get caught up in dwelling on the things of the world, or you will get stuck here. All right, clarifying that, we have the High Priestess in reverse. All right, it's a time to speak out and to speak up. The High Priestess in reverse, of course, it could mean, somebody who's doing some nefarious things, somebody who's like, stirring the pot or doing something with a cauldron. But I think here with this message of unity and new beginnings and the Four of Cups is what we're clarifying. The High Priestess is usually silent, only speaks to certain people at certain times when she has a message. But this is the time to get the message out. That's enough of being silent. That's what's causing so many problems, is that no one has spoken up. And every time somebody does speak out and calls out and points to what's happening in the world or to them or to their body, somebody tries to silence them. No more of that. We're done with that. It is over. When someone wrongs you, it needs to be identified and called out. We also have the Ten of Swords in reverse. People are pulling the swords out of their own back and saying, I'm not going to lie down and take it and be lulled into some, comfort in my situation by just doom scrolling. This is about the need to get up and to communicate, because that's enough of the silence. The entire world is crying out for justice. The entire world. That's where we need to use the internet for good. Keep pushing the message out there. Keep pushing for explanations. Keep calling out the crimes that you see. Of course, we have to remember, give Caesar what Caesar's. Don't put yourself in danger by being in the world because you're observing it and because you're speaking out. But we can no longer remain in the high priestess in reverse. Or excuse me, in the high priestess in the upright. We need to start talking. Doesn't matter how you get this information. I could be talking to somebody who's very sensitive and tapped in to the divine, to the Most High, to the angels, in whatever way you want to describe this. That's enough of being silent. Because it's time. Let me cover her up because she's nudie, even though it's just a piece of paper with a picture. It's time for healing. We are healing. The world is healing. We are becoming united. We're no longer going to accept division, the politics that want to divide us all up and pit us against each other and tell us that certain religions are bad and awful, which means the people are bad and awful. No, the people telling you to divide us up are bad and awful. Because the Prophet Muhammad was telling us to defend and protect each other. Do you understand that? And even though this isn't about Islam or anyone who's a Muslim, this is about unity. This is about healing. Finally, this is the time where it begins. And it does begin now, brothers and sisters. It does begin now. Because we are working together with the Three of Pentacles. We are studying each other. We are trying to understand each other. Three of Pentacles, I can't really show you the nudie, because this chick, but it's art. This is about trying to understand each other, trying to translate what we see to make sense of it. That's why the Three of Pentacles in this deck shows someone talking to the artist. And even though she has the subject right in front of her, somebody is guiding her toward this. Mentorship is significant. Now, I want to be careful with that card, so let me just kind of kick over a little bit of modesty here. All right. We have the Empress in reverse, immodest, because people are sick and tired of this. I just bumped into something that said some celebrity is going to remove her BBL. I'm like, what? How did we get to a place where we needed to, no judgment here, it is your body, you do whatever you want to your temple, but how did we get to a place, and think about how Freudian this is, that we would have needed to insert loads of something or other into our butts so that other people could like us and respect us? Do you see the clown show that we have created for ourselves? The media, the propaganda, the whatever. And again, I'm not talking about people going to get plastic surgery to do whatever makes them feel better. Think about how ridiculous it is to go and expand your butt to about 50 or 100 times greater than normal, when all that does is indicate that you would like very much for people to stare at your butt? Really? This takes me back to the Kardashian thing and everything in the beginning, and this butt and the cup and the art on the butt, and everything is about, really? Is this about you want us all to just look at your butt? Are you the sum of your butt? This is about your butt? You are an ass is what you're telling us? No disrespect here, but we got to call it out. I'm never going to change who I am to make somebody else feel better. All right. And this is YouTube, and I will try to stay within, the parameters that are allowed, which are quite generous. We also have the Eight of Wands. We need to call back this energy. We need to slow things down so that we can make sure that on our little motorcycle path that we are not going to crash and burn, because this Eight of Wands in this deck is talking about crashing and burning, about going too quickly, because as you can see, this motorcycle is starting to exceed even the lower wands, and the wands are up here in the air, up in the cloud, like an airplane would, like a jet plane would be. But look at how far the motorcycle has gone. We need to pull it back now, people. We need to pull back. Think about this. I'm so glad that celebrity is going to remove all of that junk from her behind. That means that she is finding her respect in herself. That means that she is calling back her energy and saying, I'm not a butt. I'm not just a part of my body. I want people to talk to me about me, and I want to talk about them. But this isn't about my body. We're all born beautiful. But when we look at each other and we're talking to each other, how do we know that somebody is paying attention to what you're saying and are interested in you? How do we know that? It's very basic. You do know this answer. They look into your eyes. They're able to hold normal attention span. As women, what do we know? I'm going to be very basic about this, and I am going to be gender specific because, remember, I'm 57 years old. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. I grew up in the time where being catcalled from a construction site was just something that you kind of politely smiled and kept going. And thank goodness that we were protected. I'm very proud of being born and raised in Los Angeles. For those of you that don't know, I'm 100% Cuban. My parents both came from Cuba in 1966 with my then 2-year-old brother and quickly assimilated and built the American dream. But it was quite a different time in Los Angeles. It was quite a different time. And I love LA. Like I tell people all the time, you could take me out of LA. You will never take LA out of me. Never going to happen. Absolutely can't happen. I love Los Angeles. And one of the things that I love the most about Los Angeles is that it was a melting pot. Just like New York, melting pot. And before everyone corrupted everyone else's minds and the politicians turned everyone against each other and people fell into the world so deeply that they couldn't pull themselves out, we were happy and excited about somebody speaking a different language. We were happy and excited to meet somebody from a different place because I'm so lucky to have been born there. But I was immersed in culture because I had every culture represented around me at all times. We need to pull back, people. I love LA. All right, and we have the tower in reverse. This is how we will avoid the ultimate tower. The Most High is in control. The Most High. But we are in the world. And who controls the world, folks? The archetype of Satan. And if you didn't see what happened in the opening ceremony for the 2026 Olympics, you should look it up and tell me without studying anything, without listening even to any audio, what do you see? They're putting it in your face. That's not the Most High. That's the world and the people in it that are trying to lull you into a satanic sleep for you to accept. And I hate to say it, I think his name is Sam Smith. If you go look at the visuals, and I don't actually suggest you do this for very long because it will probably make you sick to your stomach and you will vomit. Look up these performances by him. What are they putting in your face? What are they putting in your face? They are normalizing debauchery and everything disgusting about the worst you have ever seen. They're putting it in your face. We need to pull back because we'd like to avoid this tower. But sometimes, isn't it, if we look at this card a different way as well, the tower needs to fall. When it's this unstable, it needs to fall. And don't worry, it won't be another country doing something, attacking another, although we see the economy of war, the politics of war all the time. I understand that there are problems within each country. Look what's I'm from the United States. Look what's happening here. This is designed, all right? People do things to people and countries need to work on what they're working on, but the corruption isn't in the politics and in the money where the money is. It just all needs to fall. But it will take itself down is what I'm telling you. The people will do this. But that's why we have to keep 10 of Swordsing in reverse. We need to keep speaking out. We need to keep High Priestessing in reverse, Speak what you see. Speak what you know. You have the internet. In most cases, you are hopefully in a place that's free and you can express it and you could say it. Unfortunately, there are people that are in worlds where they cannot be so free, but we can't do anything about that individually, but we can speak for them. We have the Five of Pentacles, so if you are a truth speaker, a light worker, if you're out there doing what you need to do, you may feel that you are out in the cold. I'm talking to a light worker right now. You are out in the cold. You could feel like society is going to cast you out. Okay, then. Better to be on the outskirts of the debauchery and this disgusting truth we're seeing all the time. It's good to be out here. It's good to be out here. Because you're never alone. You're never out in the cold. The Most High, the divine, divine grace, whatever way you want to call it, the angelic realm, Jesus, whatever way you see this, you are never going to be out in the cold. But it's better to be out in the cold than it is to be in the middle of the freaking fire that is hell on earth and what people are doing right now. I'm so happy that there are people in the public eye that are finally recognizing they need to go back to basics, go back to normal, remove this that you've done to your body and corrupted yourself because of the corruption around you. Okay, that soul who's doing that is waking up. Two of Swords. You can't blind yourself anymore. You cannot blind yourself. We cannot be blind to what's happening in the world. People should be allowed to be and do whatever they choose to do, but don't turn a blind eye to it. All right. We're going to clarify and get a final message for this. This is just something I really felt compelled to say. I was telling my mother recently that I could not believe what this reminds me of. The opening of CERN, CERN. Look that up sometime and tell me what you see. Look around you, and I want you to observe it, but don't absorb it, okay? This is for you to know the truth. This is for new beginnings. All right, let's clarify. The King of Pentacles is in the world and should be minding the pentacle, but must not get trapped in the world. And the King of Pentacles in the upright is not trapped. Now, you're going to take this reading, this story, and apply it how it fits for you. The Hanged One, because somebody was already martyred long ago. You don't need to do this. I'm a Christian. I love every belief system. I really do. I own a Quran. When I was a teenager, very young, I was studying the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so just know I'm a little bit different, but I love everything. I have always embraced every faith and everyone's truth because I know we will not know the balance of what we need to know when we go home to the divine. All right, we're not going to know. So love each other, defend each other. We have the Hanged Man. You don't need to martyr yourself. All right, but you do need to keep your eyes open. And you see, now we have the counterpart to the King of Pentacles. Here's the Queen of Pentacles, who is very much in the world. We need to avoid that. Do not become a part of this. Take care of yourself. Live your life. You could have so much money that you could be living in a life of luxury. And I would hope that you would secretly and quietly be taking care of someone, clothing some children, helping a family that needs it, protecting some single mothers who are struggling, making sure that children don't have to worry about how they're going to eat so that they can study. There's so much that can be done very quietly. And remember, sometimes when you're handing some food or doing something for someone who is apparently homeless or struggling on the street, you have to remain safe. Remember, people have entertained angels unawares. I raised my 3 sons that way, to never forget this. And when I made sure that they knew why, and I did certain things in front of them so that they would not forget. So that doesn't mean to say that if you are a millionaire, a billionaire, that isn't a good thing. It is a good thing, because then you can go and help other people, and you don't need to tell anybody about this. You can do it very quietly, which is exactly the way it should be done. When we're praying, we pray privately and quietly. When we are mourning, we do so privately and quietly. We don't make big shows of what we're doing. We don't run around telling everybody in the world how perfect we are, because we know how that goes. All right. The only perfection is in the divine and in the holy. And now we have the King of Swords. We need to tell the truth. And it doesn't matter, male or female, because this is a woman on this card in the role of a man traditionally as a king. And it doesn't matter. This is a person who has seen bloodshed, who understands that we live by the sword and we die by the sword. There are warmongers among us, and you know that. And I'm not really just talking about the politicians and the politics of war and the economy of war. I'm talking about people who blindly take up a sword for a cause they have no proof on other than what they see in the media. And you got to really watch what you see in the media. You've got to do the research on your own. I mean, there are people that blindly, jump on Truth Social because it says truth and social, because they're being led to the slaughter. I know people like this. There are people that think that if they tune into, the One America News Network, they think that they're getting the one news in America. It's all psychology. They're just feeding you whatever riles you up, and you're not doing the research. I'm not ashamed to tell you this, because this is the time to actually speak the truth. All right, let's see. You have to remember. And we have the Knight of Cups. Remember to offer your services, your love, your care, whatever it is, even if it's just energetically, even if you've only got 4 words in Swahili that you're going to share with somebody, and you have access to a phone, and or you are sharing a bunch of people's dance routines in some remote location in Africa. Celebrate this. Offer what you have. Share it with the world, even if it is only a dance, only your compassion, only your mercy, only your patience, whatever you think it is that you have. Share it, but do it honestly and do it with humility. Wow. Okay. And we have the 3 of Wands. You need to look outside yourself, because the truth is right in front of your face. Look outside of yourself. Look around. Observe the world. Do not become absorbed in it, but you do need to keep your eyes open. Every time I say eyes wide open, it's because the world wants your eyes wide shut. Remember this. Despite what's happening, the arguing, the bickering, the fighting, the challenges, because what the powers that be would like is for you to argue. They want families arguing on Sunday. They want people to argue at dinner. They want you to argue politics. Now, depending on how old you are and how much vim and vigor you've got, remember that's just part of growing up. But your silence and your pause is the cure to anything that comes up. And also distancing yourself from people like this. I have a particular family member that knows that as soon as she starts talking about this, that I'm immediately shutting it down, and I will be silent for a time. All right, now the arguing with the 5 of Wands. And flying over here to the new beginning, we've got the 10 of Wands. How perfect is that? The 10 of Wands is about doing the work and putting your head down and doing it. Don't focus on what's happening around you. Do the work. Do your work. Do the hard work. Keep pushing. And this is a perfect card for the closing. This is like the lesson of the mirror, because the Prophet Muhammad said, each one of you is a mirror to his brother. So when you look at someone from a different background, don't see a stranger. See another part of the single body that humanity is. If one part suffers, the whole body feels the pain. So, my friends, take this message on your Sunday. Go forth and be a bridge, not a wall. Take good care. I love you. God bless you all.